I don't know about you, but I quite like our planet. Whilst I think space exploration is important, I also feel that perhaps we could consider spending equal amounts of money on ensuring it'll last us at least as long as our sun. It turns out that I'm not alone in this sentiment. Many of our favorite brands often release special watch models that donate parts of their profit to charities or even upcycle waste material to create dials. Ciga Design created quite the upset in our galaxy when they released their innovative and fun watch, the Blue Planet. I have to admit, until that point, I had associated Ciga with novelty watches that one could find in the weirdest corners of AliExpress. I seemed to be targeted by various ads for the skeletonized series X and Z, and I dismissed them as too cheap to be worth a second look. So when the Blue Planet watch won a prestigious design award, I don't think I was the only one to do a double take. I've dabbled with novelty watches in my time, but I usually lose interest quite quickly. Ultimately, I think a watch has one job, which is, tell the time. If that becomes a chore over time, then really, you might be attractive and all, but we need to part ways. It's not you, it's me. It might be unfair to categorize the Blue Planet from Ciga as a novelty watch, but it does have a job to do. Would I hire it for that prominent position in my wrist department? Let's find out. If you're like me and devour interesting watch content on YouTube, please consider a like and subscribe, and in return I'll speak my mind and stay impartial regardless of the brand in question. Thank you. So the GPHG awards prizes every year for watches that combine creativity with excellence. To be perfectly honest, looking at the watches that are in the selection criteria leaves me cold. But I'm more of a classic, clean design kind of person, and I genuinely think there should be more fun in this industry. I do wonder though if spending the equivalent dollars of a very nice car on pieces that look like they've been subjected to Homer Simpson's makeup gun is perhaps questionable. Be that as it may, the Blue Planet watch took out the prestigious award for pieces under 3,500 Swiss franc, and I believe many of us took notice. The very fact that you can buy this piece for $899 or $1,099 in titanium like this one, I think is fantastic. For once, normal people can justify having a piece like this as part of their collection, something to be worn perhaps once or twice a month. So let's talk sizes first. If you've seen Jordan Peele's excellent movie Nope, then you know the shape here already. It is a large circle that has landed on your wrist. It's 46mm excluding the crown, and it's approximately 15mm thick. The quick release straps are 22mm wide, and their straight line fits means you can in fact swap straps out if you want to. It does have a 30m or 3 ATM water resistance rating, so despite all the water on display here, don't take it in the water. Yes, it's a substantial piece on your wrist, but the strap design means it's not as unwieldy as one might first suspect. This titanium model with a strap attached is a very light 73 grams all up, which further helps with the overall wearability. The Blue Planet has one giant party trick, and that is the intricate dial, covered by a lovely domed sapphire crystal. One thing I'll say first is that typically with any of these designs that display parts of our globe, they are usually very northern hemisphere biased, and this is probably the first time I've handled one that is so focused on countries around the Indian Ocean. This is a worldview that is slightly different, and I really like it for this fact alone. The dial on the macro and loop is impressive for a few reasons. The first one to me is that it doesn't exactly scream cold, precise machine robot design. There are tiny details on the compass dial, for instance, that seem quite organic, and the patterns on the continents are genuinely incredible to behold. The way the blue ocean meets the continents is incredibly precise, which is good. Any overlaps here would be unforgivable. The way Indonesia has been represented is particularly impressive to me, since on this scale it's nothing but a few small patterns that would be hard to reproduce. My friend that lent me the watch is about to sell it, so why is that? In his words, it's bloody impossible to tell the time with my eyesight. Yep, hard to disagree with that statement. The modified movement is actually rather simple to read. The outer ring is your standard 12-hour dial, and the inner ring is your minutes dial, and the compass rose points to the current time. In this example, for instance, it's 3 p.m. So why is it, quote, difficult to read? One small issue is that, for instance, the 10:10 on any watch, you expect the minutes to be on the right and the hour on your left. So retraining your brain is required, but you'll get the hang of it quite quickly. The real issue is that the numbers are tiny. In fact, about the same size as the minute markers, and the same silver on black, so if you want to know the exact time, like some kind of needy human with a train to catch or something, you need great eyesight. What I think is the approach here is to read the compass rose approximate position on the dial, and you'll know that it's roughly just after 3 p.m, since I know that this is normally the position where I would be able to see the digit 3, and I can see the compass rose even without my glasses. So I guess the lesson here, relax with your exact time demands and go with the flow. The case is very round, quietly reflective, and a bit like a pebble that's been polished by the ocean for a few years. There's a lovely textured crown, which is a tad too small for me. Winding the movement manually if you haven't worn it for a while is not easy with my large Nordic hands, mainly since there's a bit of resistance in this movement as well. I assume perhaps since the modifications would drive quite a few cogs attached to large moving parts on the dial. The movement is exposed on the back, and whilst it's not super exciting to look at, I think it's the right way to go here. You want to see that this is a watch that's driven by mechanical solutions, rotor and all. The accuracy is stated as -15 to +30 seconds a day, which is good to know. I'd hate to be late for my train, which I could only approximate the time for anyway, so all good. As mentioned, the straps are quick release with a sign buckle, and this fluorine rubber is comfortable to wear with some small grooves and spaces built in so sweat has somewhere to go. Now to the Lume. It is disappointing to say the least, mainly since there is none whatsoever. Hilarious jokes aside, I think a Lume pip in the middle of that compass rose would be all that's needed, and it's a bit of a missed opportunity, I think. Hopefully we'll get some fun Lume treatments one day. Those continents would look pretty fantastic all loomed up. No question this is a novelty watch, but it's A, beautiful, and B, very reasonably priced. It's not something that I would wear ever, but I know plenty of people that would, and have been sorely tempted to buy one for a while. To you I say, just do it. Ciga is on record for wanting to make fun and reasonably priced watches for everyone, and I love that. Why spend an insane $100,000 on a Richard Mille when you can get a Ciga equivalent that to my eyes is both more attractive and costs 0.1% as much? That's more responsible for our planet, since you can now perhaps donate $99,000 to displaced refugees or one of the many threatened species that are far more important than silly watches altogether. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.